Hello, Leo. Hello, everyone.
The truck by the hospital.
Robin's on. Who else? Hey, Robin.
You know, with the rice
Let
and
me
salad.
promote Ty. What's
Talk about
panelists?
food.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good
What's up,
shot.
Leo? What's up?
What's going on, Robin? Happy New Year.
Times when I was
Happy
working
New Year to you too.
Okay, Sonia. What's panelists? I guess they can. All right, so let's get started so we don't delay any more time. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Traffic and Transportation Committee meeting and Happy New Year. My name is Leo Jimenez and I am the chair of this committee. We'll go around the room introducing ourselves.
Hello, everybody. My name is Noemi, and I'm co-chair of Traffic and Transportation, and I'm also part of licensing. And Happy New Year. Keep it going, Mary.
I'm Mary Anderson. I am the chair of the Aging Committee on the board, as well as a member, I have been a long-term member of Traffic and Transportation Committee as well. And that's it.
Okay. I'm Ann Megas, and I'm a member of the Land Use Committee and Mary's Committee, and just have an interest in this committee as well.
This is Jim Berlin. I'm a member of the Land Use Committee as well. I'm also the board parliamentarian.
Jody Carson, member of this committee, and New York City Parks.
Luana Ferreira, Chair of Parks and Cultural Affairs, and I'm joining the committee tonight in hopes that we can pass a joint resolution.
And then Ty and Robin, you can introduce, and Sonia as well. You can introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'll go. Ty Fujimura, CB12. Sorry, I can't be there in person today. I'm feeling a bit sick and don't want to get anybody sick. I'm also a member of the Public Safety Committee and very excited to be on the committee and talk through everything today.
My name is Robin. Happy New Year to all. I'm a part of the licensing and also part of the traffic and transportation. Welcome, everybody.
All right, thank you. So we'll start with the agenda. We have a couple presentations. As Duana mentioned, we'll let her go first. We have a joint resolution or potentially a joint resolution with Parks. Nothing? It's so weird. With Parks.
I can start filling while the resolution
Yeah.
is printed. I can start doing the groundwork and giving some clarification as to the resolution.
Try restarting the app and then sending it.
Yeah, let me try. I'm also on view only. That's why. So that might be an issue.
But you can still download it though
Yeah, I've
and forward
downloaded
it.
Let me see if I can try again. This is my word.
By the way, our board chair is with us.
Yes.
Anthony Viola.
Yes. Introduce
Anthony
yourself,
Viola
Anthony.
joins us as the board chair.
Person, Community Board 12 as of January 1st.
I'll tell Alexis also to try, but keep trying.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. No worries. While we wait for that, yes.
Oh, we did it. Okay.
What are you trying to do?
It wasn't
I'm trying to download
shifting.
this and then send it. Oh,
I was
Whoops.
messing with the camera because it wasn't moving around when people were speaking. So.
All right, I just told Alexis if she can do it, yeah. I mean, even if you're still on view, you should be able to download
that's
it and
what-
forward it.
that's what let me see if this works.
You want me to start talking about it while you do
Yes,
that?
yes.
So,
Well,
my
after this.
apologies, my dad is in the hospital, so I just wanna present the resolution and the overview of the resolution so that I can go and see him. Sometime in August, the New York Times published an article with regards to what the community lovingly calls Dolphin Park. with regards to this playground being closed to the public. I think the title was The Park That Keeps Children Out. It was a very powerful article, and it motivated the community to revisit the conversation about Dolphin Park, and start discussions as far as why the park has been closed for so long and what can we do to get the park opened again and make it accessible to people in the community. What's complicated is that the park sits on land that falls under the purview of the Port Authority. So even though it is a playground and it would be considered a park, it doesn't fall under the purview of parks or even DOT, if you want to mention New York City public agencies. So at the request of the community coming to my committee because they believe that it's a park, so oh, it's Dolphin Park, it has to be park, it's a little bit more complicated than that. The gist of it all is that this is on Port Authority land, and in the past, it was managed by a nonprofit. So it's not managed by parks or by DOT. It's owned by the Port Authority, but the Port Authority does not manage it either. In the past, it was a person, her name escapes me, it's all there, that was managing the park under a nonprofit. So part of the resolution is to start a conversation, to call upon our elected officials to come into one roof and compel the Port Authority to come into a collaborative dialogue and explore the possibilities of what this place is and what we can reimagine it to be. And what are the stops? Is it funding? Is it that it has to go back to a nonprofit? Are there any nonprofits who might be willing to undertake this project? I have spoken to a couple of nonprofits, however, I don't want to put them on the spot. Some of them, it's out of reach for some nonprofits in terms of the capabilities, in terms of the management, in terms of the funding. So we have been proactive as members of the community in trying to broach a conversation. We now feel that this needs to be a higher ask with people that have more leverage. And that includes our elected officials, our state elected officials, and also the Port Authority. Maybe our elected officials can start the conversation because we're just community members, right? So we can say, hey, come and talk to us. I think it's a greater ask to, or it creates, it's of better impact to, as a community board, to say this is a concern in our community. Please come under a roof and let's start having a conversation. So once we get the resolution in print, we can read it for the sake of public record, and then I'm here to clarify questions.
If I could add a few things.
Yes,
The Port Authority actually built the park,
exactly.
and so it's their park.
Thank you.
There was a local association, as was mentioned. The person who was the leader of the organization, her name is Jean Lee Poggi. She's a legend in the neighborhood.
Thank you,
But
Jim.
she's no longer alive, and things sort of fell apart. Now, let me mention two other things. The Port Authority, although it's this sort of autonomous agency that listens to itself, they've actually been pretty good about coming to us and talking about their projects, so they're not like impossible. That's one piece that we should keep in mind. Another thing we should keep in mind is that there are probably a bunch of solutions to the problem. And again, obviously, we have to get all of the elected officials involved, especially the state officials, because the Port Authority is, a creature of New York State and New Jersey. So they're important too. But again, in addition to getting a nonprofit here on it, another possibility, and again, this is all something that people can discuss, and there may be legalities in the way and such, or maybe not. The Port Authority is unlikely to cede the park to the city. It's their land, they want it, and conceivably, if they needed it for something, it would be there, and they could put the park someplace else. But the other piece of it is they could, for example, again, with some kind of contract or something, allow the city Parks Department to actually manage the park. But this is, you know, another possible suggestion. But again, I totally agree that at this point, we want every elected official involved, maybe even Zoran on, because it's his city too.
We can start at the community level.
Oh, I think we should start
So-
there.
How long has the park been open?
I think it's about 5 years, about 5 years.
It's a nice little park too.
Yeah, and it's called Dolphin Park. It's actually, when I read the resolution so that people online can see it, it's actually called the George Washington Bridge Park, but the community calls it lovingly Dolphin Park because there's a dolphin in the middle. I think it's a water sprinkler that is in the shape of a dolphin. And that, you know, I'm always one that we'll call it by its official name, but it's also what people know it is. If we say George Washington Park, that's the name, the legal name, but I also include it lovingly called Dolphin Park because that is the way that the community calls it. And we also want to make sure that it's like, oh, okay, I know this park, so,
If you walk by it, there's a pink elephant in front of it.
yes.
So I have
Go ahead.
two comments. The first is that that's right by the newly opened North Walk of the George Washington.
Exactly.
Yes,
And you know, for the transportation committee, that pathway is notably closed overnight, complicating, confounding, and eliminating commuter transportation between Fort Lee and Washington Heights for people who don't have like normal 9-to-5 jobs. So as long as we're reaching out to Port Authority, like we should try to correct that wrong. And my second comment is that, you know, there has been a push in like bike advocate communities to have like spaces that are mixed, like they're kind of like, this is kind of like parking space and this is kind of like a roadway, like to give like New York City agencies like authority to do the things they do best. So to give, even though the land belongs to Port Authority or whomever, or maybe it belongs to Department of Transportation, but if it has green spaces or playground in it, then Parks operates it. Or if it has a roadway in it, then Parks would say like, okay, you know what? Actually, only DOT knows how to pave roads, well, they used to, and give it over to them. But it has been stymied by various city agencies under the previous regime, so perhaps this is a time also to revisit that. But I bike by that place like pretty often, and it's a lovely little park with like little animals. It's a shame that it's closed, but I think, you know, there in particular, like it's an opportunity for reaching out to Port Authority for them to fix what they've done to cancel light transportation for people who work late nights.
If I could comment on that also. I live right near there.
But you bike across there, Jim.
No, but I sometimes walk across
Oh.
there. And the other thing is the Port Authority, as you're probably aware, did extend the nighttime hours a bit. And we have discussed this with them. Now tonight, of course, we're mainly talking about the park. And there's a second issue, by the way, even though we're talking about the park, and that is the sidewalk in that area, which is owned by the Port Authority also. And the key is, this is owned by the Port Authority. The sidewalk is in terrible shape. It's full of trip hazards. So, you know, at some point we want them to fix that too. But again, tonight we want to concentrate on the park.
Any other questions? So on the park, any concerns, any comments?
The procurement issue seems like a big one, because I know a lot of the transportation, like open street stuff, like getting the city to actually pay back whoever's operating it so they don't go out of business has been an issue, a long-standing issue.
Port Authority has
Port Authority, they pay their bills?
they have quite some money. But I think this conversation, if we, as a committee, jointly pass it with Parks,
right,
it's a conversation starter so that we can
exactly.
go ask our elected officials to join our cries and then push it forward. Then we can start working on the little nuances around it, which I agree that, you know, the pathway should be open for commuters late night. Sidewalks should be fixed around that area if we're giving access to the park. So, but we'll start at the cusp of it, which is this, and then we'll make our way through. All right. With that being said, since there's no comments unless you have.
Just
any-
No, I
a
don't have comments.
quick
Yes.
question. So
Yes.
it sounds like basically the Reso is calling for dialogue. So what dialogue has occurred already with Port Authority on this and with Parks?
None,
None.
none.
Okay, so, and I presume you guys reached out to them originally, so did they basically?
Luana and I first spoke about this sometime in December, early December. I reached out to Port Authority. I never received a response, and I did.
Got it,
Right.
okay, okay.
We invited them to come to the meeting tonight, so we could have some type of dialogue that they respond.
Yeah, so we're escalating.
Yes, so
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
making an official document coming from the board.
Right.
So that we can engage in dialogue and push forward some type of action, so that we eventually can open the park.
Right. I think a point of clarification is that my meeting is next week, and this is why the resolution is coming before, TNT, before it comes to parks. But like I said, Port Authority falls under the purview of this committee, and that's why it's important that this resolution gets passed tonight. And then pending friendly amendments, then it goes before the general board, and then the document is official, and now there has to be an accountability piece that we're saying that the community is concerned about this. There has been a lot of conversation. We have done our due diligence in trying to have informal conversations, but now it's a matter of a public document, a public official document, that this is a community concern, and now we have to follow up, or the elected officials have to follow up. That's the purpose of it. I mean, we can ask informally, but there is weight to having a resolution put forth.
So I only have one friendly amendment.
Sure.
So I'm on the
Well, you want me to
whereas.
read it first?
Oh, yeah, if you want.
Yeah. Okay, so resolution calling for a collaborative action to reopen Dolphin Park. I put quotes in Dolphin Park because that's not the official name.
I'm sorry, Donna.
So-
Robin, Bruce, and
Oh,
Ty,
yeah.
I'll send you guys right now the email so you guys can have access and.
Okay, so whereas the George Washington Bridge Park, also known as Claremont Park and lovingly called by the community Dolphin Park in quotes, is located roughly on the intersection of Cabrini Boulevard and 180th Street, New York, 10033. Whereas Dolphin Park has long served as a vital open space, providing recreational, environmental, and social benefits to the surrounding community. And whereas the prolonged closure of Dolphin Park has limited public access to much-needed green space, particularly affecting local families, seniors, and youth. And whereas community members have consistently expressed concern and support for the reopening of Dolphin Park through public testimony, advocacy, and engagement with local representatives. Whereas on August 31st, 2025, the New York Times has highlighted both the importance of Dolphin Park to the neighborhood and the broader challenges facing community efforts to regain access to the park, underscoring the need for interagency cooperation to reopen the space. Whereas meaningful progress toward reopening Dolphin Park requires coordination and collaboration among elected officials and the Port Authority to address regulatory, safety, environmental, and operational considerations. And whereas collaborative problem solving among government agencies and community stakeholders can identify realistic and timely pathways to restore public access to Dolphin Park, now therefore be it resolved, the Community Board 12 calls upon all relevant elected officials and the Port Authority to come together with members of Community Board 12 to engage in good faith discussions aimed at identifying plausible avenues for the reopening of Dolphin Park, and resolved that such collaboration include the exploration of solutions, including safety environments, improvements, maintenance responsibilities, intra-agency agreements, and funding opportunities. And be it finally resolved, the Community Board 12 requests regular updates on progress made toward reopening Dolphin Park, encouraging transparency and continued community input throughout the process. That's the wording that I selected because there are a lot of moving pieces. There are liability issues, like I said, funding issues. So we want to be cautious in terms of how we word this resolution if we have aspirations to envision this space. So I accept friendly amendments and then I have to go.
Go ahead, Jim, and I have to.
Two things, when you say all relevant elected officials, I would add state and city, so we.
Thank you.
So that, and the other thing is.
Where is that?
The first, therefore,
Now
be
therefore
resolved.
be it resolved.
Thank you.
And then we calling upon the Port Authority, which is a little bit amorphous, maybe we should call upon the management of the Port Authority.
I can understand why there's different divisions and departments, so maybe that's.
Well, the Port Authority is actually run by a board,
By a board, yeah.
we're not
By board,
gonna deal
yeah.
with the board. and the other thing, and
So-
let me just finish.
Go ahead.
And I don't wanna keep you from your thought.
Okay.
It's a huge thing, it's got bridges and tunnels and heaven, airports, for God's sake. So it's not even clear which corner of the Port Authority runs it. So for example, the bridge and the bus terminal are run by the same person. They may or may not be in charge of the park as well. So, but they're all part of management of the Port Authority, so that's why, and again, it's not, I'm not gonna be insistent that we put in the word management, I just think Port Authority per se is a little bit vague. And again, in general.
I'll speak to anybody.
Oh, no,
At the Port Authority, I'll speak to anybody at this point.
You know, in general, they are very, we've dealt with the manager of the bus terminal on occasion.
They didn't have enough data about Southwalk too.
And we've dealt with their engineers who explain their various projects, so they have been relatively cooperative. But on the other hand, although city agencies, as many people know, are required to speak to the community board, the Port Authority is not. So, and again, there's nothing here that would offend them or anything. But, and in fact, I'm very happy with this resolution.
Thank you. I'd rather keep it general because at this point, I don't want, well, they want management and management is on vacation. I don't want to give any kind of,
Okay.
you know what I mean? If we say Port Authority, if they have a community liaison member, I'll speak to that person.
They've got that too.
You know, that's why I don't want to be specific as to
Okay.
who we want to speak to. I want to speak to somebody.
Excellent.
Can it be the executive
I agree
director?
with you.
So keep it broad.
Thank you. Keep it broad. Any other friendly amendments?
Yeah, I just have one.
Go ahead,
Maybe somewhere
Leo.
in the whereas, maybe where it says the prolonged closure, we should give the timeline. It's been 5 years since it's been closed.
Okay,
Just
so,
to-
yeah,
And I'll send you the language for it, but just to highlight that.
okay.
Alright, so we'll go straight to a vote.
I think it's, thank you.
We'll go straight to a
I
vote.
tried.
Alright, so we'll start with committee. Noemi?
Yes.
Noemi, yes. Jim?
Yes.
Jim, yes. Jody?
Yes.
Well, Alberto says that he's got the liaison, you should look at the chat.
Yeah, look at the chat.
Yeah, I should have put it. Alberto, sounds good, yeah, we'll get the information out for you. Alberto's MTA, MTA rep. Alright, so Jim, Noemi, Jody said yes. Robin Cruz?
Yes.
Robin says yes. Bruce?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
And Ty.
Yes, and thank you, Luana, for putting it together.
And then
My pleasure.
we'll have the,
And thank you for the presentation.
yeah, thank you, Luana, thank you for,
My
and
pleasure.
also drafting the resolution, it's a good resolution. Alright, and then Anne?
Yes.
Anne says yes. Mary?
Yes.
Mary says yes. And then Luana, I mean, your vote in your committee, but
Yeah,
for record,
hell
She's a board
yes.
member here. so
yeah, so, and then we'll have the general public. Are you guys in favor of this resolution? Yes, we have 4. Alright,
I would like for you to bring them back, because I would like an update on Southwalk.
Yeah.
It's about
Okay.
time.
Okay.
It's been over a year since we've heard Hyde more here, and it doesn't look like they're working on Southwalk.
And they changed another bridge to be open 24/7 in Staten Island, so like, we should also have.
Well, we can reach out to them on that issue also.
Right, that's
By the
what I'm
way,
saying.
they're not finished on the Southwalk, if you go across the bridge, they still have.
I know
roads.
they're not
We want an update on it.
They can update because
thank you,
they're not.
Luana, I'll get five feedback.
But you should not be surprised that it's not yet open, because it's not done.
Okay,
I think
so with that being said, we support the resolution, it's gonna go through parks, and we'll discuss it in the general
It's gonna go
board
through
meeting.
Parks on Tuesday.
Yeah,
And then Parks may have their own corrections or friendly amendments, and then the general board might have also amendments. But
okay,
it should be good. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
being
Luana.
into the agenda.
Take care.
Have a good night.
All the
Happy
best
New
to
Year.
your dad.
Thank you.
alright, so we're moving along, we have Rafael here in place of Lyle. Rafael, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna have Alberto Roldan, he has to jump on another meeting for another board, so I'm gonna have him.
Don't let him leave, because I have a lot of information.
That's the question. Alberto, you on?
Hey, I'm here. Good afternoon, good evening, rather. Excuse me.
Good evening, man, happy new year.
Happy New Year. Happy to be here. Happy to see all of you.
Alright, Alberto, so we have well, you'll provide a couple updates, and then we have a few people during the committee that have some questions on certain updates. So you can go ahead and provide your updates, and then we'll go around the room.
Sure, no problem. As folks know,
It's very low, right? I'm not going crazy.
MetroCard we're not no longer selling MetroCards. We're switched to Omni as of January 1. I do want to flag that we have 30 customer service centers where folks can get real-time assistance. In Manhattan, we have almost a dozen in Manhattan. The nearest one is 160.
Stuck.
Sorry, go ahead. The
Go
nearest one
ahead,
here.
Alberto.
The nearest one is
It's a-
160. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it's a bit low on our end, so.
Need me to speak louder? I can.
Yes.
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 If you can, that would be great.
All right. So the nearest customer service center is 168th Street, the AC1 station. So the purpose of these locations are to get real-time assistance to anything related to the Omni, reduced fare, replacements, anything like that. You can access 24/7, all accessible stations, real-time assistance. You no longer have to come all the way downtown to 3 Stone Street. So that's what we're doing for folks here. Customers may also love the mobile sales van. This is the mobile sales van, but every day, any time of day, you can reach a service. You don't have to wait till a specific date.
Alberto, before you continue, I have a question. How can we get someone for these Omni services to attend our aging committee? There's a lot of our elderly community residents that cannot make their way to these train stations for obvious reasons, and I think it would be great. I know Mary has her meetings sometimes at nursing homes, at certain locations, so it would be great if someone shows up and can assist them in that.
Yeah,
How
I
can
can.
we plan for that?
Good question, great idea. Or what I can do is, I can make sure that team that focuses on this type of work, they can go visit one of Mary's meetings and provide information for her those customers. I'm happy to do that. Make that connection.
Okay, I believe Mary has your email. I'll forward it to you as well, so that maybe you guys can have an offline discussion about it. I think it would be beneficial for the MTA and for our community. So.
Yeah, of course. I do want to highlight to you that we've encouraged our local electeds to quote unquote adopt an existing mobile sales van, so that what we ask for adopt is, spread the information, share the word. I think we can say, hey, it exists, but if local electeds and community groups can say, can project that message to a broader audience, that would definitely help everyone who will need that service.
I have a question for you, but Jody does as well. Jody.
No, I just also noticed on Broadway further south that there are mobile units that are providing services to the community. I haven't seen anything in this area. Do you provide mobile services for people in the community? And are there mobile services that are being provided up here in Washington Heights?
So the mobile schedule, I can share that schedule. We have several locations up in the Heights. They don't go as far as 207 area, but they're on 181st, 155th, and several other locations. I can share that in the chat as well.
Yeah, if you can share that, we'll pass it down to the board office and they'll disseminate it in the newsletter. My comment is, can the board adopt a mobile van? What's the process for that? It's monetary.
So adopting the van is pretty much you can share the information of when the dates are coming. And then you can either table there if you like. You can join us in tabling and give information that you want to give out as well, not just MTA information. But let's say there's something the board wants to give. I don't know. Let's say there's free tax prep or something like that. You can also you can table there as part of being with the van.
Yeah, if you can forward that information, I think that's something where we're trying to be more apparent in the community. So if you can share that with me, we'd highly appreciate it. And Jim has a comment as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure Alberto mentioned it, at the same place in the train station right here, 168th Street, the service center, you can also transfer whatever remaining balances you have on a Metro card to a Omni card.
Exactly, that's correct, Jim. And for folks who are transferring their funds from Metro card to Omni, they're gonna get a free Omni card. They don't have to pay for the card itself. So that station currently has available Omni cards.
Okay. All right, thank you, Alberto. Anything else for us?
One more question.
Yes.
Related to the issuance of the Omni cards, has anybody else noticed just how loud those Omni announcements are? I didn't check the decibel level, but they're louder than any announcement that's typically made in the subways. So, no, hasn't registered with anybody
Are
else?
you talking about in the station or on the train or what?
At every station I've been to?
I haven't
No?
heard.
Okay. All right.
Anything on that, Alberto? Is that
I
a
mean,
norm? Is it?
that's new to me. I could definitely ask the team where we're at with turn decibel levels and circle back. But I haven't heard any complaints previously.
Yeah, this is the ones where they're celebrities and things announcing Omni. So, thank you.
Okay.
What else? Related to Omni?
No.
Yes, I have it related to Omni.
Yes.
My teenagers have gone through about 5 cards apiece because they demagnify fast and they get lost. Like, why can't they just put it on their phones like normal adults?
So, good
Alberto.
question. We're currently working with the Department of Education or New York City Public Schools, DOE, whatever the acronym is nowadays. But working with DOE to have a pilot program to have the Omni card on their phones.
Can I say that?
No, go ahead, Alberto.
Yeah, so we're working with DOE to have a pilot program in the next couple weeks of the Omni card on their phones, with the hope of next school year having the Omni cards on phones for the students. That would address it.
All right, Alberto. Let's keep moving on. So, what other updates you got for us?
Just want to remind folks, if you didn't know, the capital plan has lots of amazing, exciting announcements for the CB12 community. As you know, we have several elevator installations coming online in this capital plan, 25-29 capital plan. We're talking about 207 on the 1, 191st on the 1, 190th on the A, 157th on the 1, and 155th on the C. So lots of accessibility coming to the community. We're also investing in substations. So a lot of infrastructure that powers our trains. We're updating that to prevent, future burnouts or any issues like that. Some of these substations, we're talking 60 years old, even older. We're renewing those to have better performance and better reliability. So a lot of that, what you see now, is related to that. We're also, I know it's a big thing for you, it is about resiliency. Flooding. We're working to make sure our stations are more resilient. And that could be raising the stairs, that first staircase, raising the grates that have ventilation to the system. All these different concepts we're working on. We're trying to mentor the community as soon as we can, not just yours, but many others. But these are the ones that really stand out and will be the capital plan. So you see the next couple of years of those improvements coming on.
All right, great, Alberto. Mary has a question, and I have a couple comments, and then
I
we
don't
have
have a question. I wondered if Alberto can speak a little slower so I can understand
Can
him.
you put show captions? Maybe
Yeah.
that would help.
Yeah, Alberto, if you can just speak a tad bit slower.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can do that. No problem.
Oh, will that help?
Yeah, that's about to go.
Can I click the button?
Oh, actually, this works. Well, that you have to do it on that side. Yeah, you want. You got
Do you
it.
want him to repeat the
All right.
stations that
Huh?
I'm gonna get you the information. You mentioned a couple of stations that are going through accessibility upgrades. The next couple of years, nothing this year, right, Alberto? Nothing has been bid for this year.
Yeah, this capital plan, nothing this year, but they're still in the design phase, and we haven't announced them in the package yet, but they're coming in this capital plan.
Okay, thank you, Alberto. So first, yeah, Rafa, give me 1 second.
Before we go.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be on. We have a round of questions for him. So
Oh, okay, because there's something that apparently relates to
to him
what
here.
you have put up in the past.
Okay, all right. So I'll let him know to stay on. Alberto, so couple things. You answered one with the accessibility. Wayne Benjamin had a question about that. Since there's accessibility upgrades to the one train station, will anything be done for the flooding issues, especially if there will be an elevator installed in that area? You answered that. That hasn't been bidded. It's coming in the next couple of years. I have a community resident has mentioned and emailed me multiple times about the ACE program being suspended in Co-op City. I know we have churches in our area that have been complaining since the inception of this program. A lot of their parishioners, a lot of the people who attend the church are constantly getting tickets. Obviously, we know it's here, we know it's a state mandate, we know it's here to stay. But now that we have this information, don't be surprised if we start getting group of people to start opposing the ACE program in certain areas in our community because of what happened in Co-op City. So I just wanted to put that on the record. If you have any comments on that, we would highly appreciate it.
Yeah, the Co-op City situation was a veto of a law that was passed in the Assembly and State Legislature. That was vetoed by the governor with the mandate that we work with DOT to review the circumstances in Co-op City, particularly around school loading zones. So it was a very specific mandate that they want us to look at with DOT as part of this quote unquote pause. And once that gets reviewed, then we'll walk that back to see what the study is.
Okay, yeah, because a lot of the complaints and parishioners are around school, so
Now,
that's
now,
interesting.
not right. Now, I will say this. We've come across that many churches or houses of worship have older adults or adults who use the paratransit service. So we've realized in some locations when these parishioners enroll for the service and use it, those complaints have gone down. So that's something that we've seen as a positive. But to answer someone's question, ACE is automated camera enforcement. That's what ACE stands for.
ACE is automated camera enforcement.
And the thing about ACE is not about giving folks tickets to give tickets, right? It's about speeding the buses, but also safety for pedestrians, especially in Vision Zero corridors, which there are several in CB12, but also accessibility. So young adults, families, individuals with mobile devices can access the bus from the curb instead of having to go onto the street and risk an accident. So there are many components to the ACE program that are important and that we're seeing results throughout the city.
Thank you. I know we have a couple more members.
Just a quick comment on the ACE thing.
Yeah, go
It
ahead.
takes 2 buses 10 minutes apart to get a ticket.
Yeah.
So
No,
just keep that in mind.
It's two buses, 2.5 minutes apart.
They lowered it?
So it's 2.5 minutes for a ACE violation. It's 5 minutes if it's a bus lane violation. Like you have to make the first legal right turn in the bus lane.
Okay.
It's always been 2.5 minutes.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the committee or board members before we move to?
The issue is that the church in the neighborhood is the fact that they just park there. And, so obviously they'd be there for more than 2.5 minutes.
Double parking is an issue, yeah.
But and I believe that the Co-op City thing doesn't exist anymore.
They suspended it temporarily. I don't think it was, they suspended it.
Well,
until they
again,
figured-
insofar as it's suspended, if it's temporary because it's some legal thing, that's one story, but if it's suspended, as a normal way of doing things anywhere else in the city, then we want to be part of that too.
Yeah,
Or at least considered to be part of that.
Thank you for the comments, Jim.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Noemi. Then Ty after Noemi.
My question is there somewhere where we can find the location of all the ACE that we have in our community?
Yeah, mta.info/ACE.
MTA.info/ACE. That's actually good. We can get that out to the board office and they can disseminate. Thank you for that. Ty, and then we'll go to, I'll go to Rafael and then we'll go to go ahead, Ty.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, do you have any updates on anything being done around the heat at the 181st Street 1 train? I know it's kind of an esoteric question, but it's come up in our committee before. It's
So-
absolutely insane, and
Yeah,
now would be
I
the time
agree.
to do something.
I agree. It's very hot there. No, I don't disagree. I don't think anyone disagrees at that point, right? But we currently had a RFP for geothermal review as a potential option to cool down that station. But there were some ideas submitted by different parties, and our sustainability team is reviewing those options to see how we can move forward. So I can send you the RFP to do it, but there have been steps to try to get some information how we can do that.
Okay, that's great. And I apologize, there's some background noise. I don't know, but so is capital allocated for that within the capital plan already?
I don't think for this specific station or concern, but I can definitely circle back. But it is on our radar for items to review.
Okay. And what would be the timeline on selecting a proposal from there?
I'll get back to you because they're still reviewing all of that. So I'll
Okay,
circle
okay.
back with a more definite answer on
Okay,
that.
yeah, actually, that's news to us, so if you could send over that RFP, that would be really helpful, thank you.
Okay, Rafael, and then we'll go to Peter and Allegra.
I have,
Rafael Escanos
yes,
from
the reason
DOT.
for my-
Oh, no, I know Berto knows you, but just everybody else. You could just
Oh, I'm
introduce yourself.
sorry, Rafael Escano, I'm a Manhattan Borough Planner. I'm covering for Lyle, who is responsible for the.
I have a comment.
Okay.
So I do have a update that I will do that later.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reason for my intervention at this point is that apparently you had an issue with some 218th Street
Yes,
station
Allegra,
lighting.
Allegra's gonna mention around 218th Street, that area,
The lights, yeah.
the
Yes.
lights, he has
So-
some of this.
It's because DOT has no responsibility for these lights. It's an MTA. And I just want to bring this up because this apparently been part of some discussion that you had.
Yeah, we've mentioned it in the last couple of months. Allegra's mentioned that we've mentioned it already.
So perhaps Alberto can contribute to the discussion now
Yeah,
regarding.
which lights are we referring to?
Allegra, you can give him that exact location, and Allegra will give you that exact location.
It's the, you know, where the Kingsbridge bus terminal, that kind of area?
Yep.
It's there, like 218th and Broadway area.
So you need more lighting there?
Yep. Well, so
Okay,
I think some of the lines are broken or something.
Okay, I can have our infrastructure team review that for repair or additional lights.
Kingsbridge, I'm sorry, this is related to an issue regarding West 218th Street.
Yeah, it's called the Kingsbridge.
Okay.
It's our first depot.
Yeah, it's around that area, it's the same area.
Yeah,
It's the same,
it's called the
yeah.
Kingsbridge Bus Depot.
The Kingsbridge
All the
bus
Kingsbridge,
depot.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Okay.
It's around the same area. Thank you, Rafael, for that answer. All right, Peter, then Allegra. I know Allegra's a little,
Okay, I got a
That's a
couple
bit of a list.
questions. We do a lot of track replacement on the A train and it shuts down on the weekends, sometimes one or twice, 2 times a month. Like, I understand that's important work. I'm not complaining about it. Do we have an update on how far the progress is and how many more weekends we have to go where the A train's just inaccessible 1 to 2 times a weekend, you know, for the month? That's my first question. Second question is, I know CBTC is being installed on the A line from 59th to High Street. Are there any plans, even if it's gonna be years from now, to install it from 59th to 207th? Are there any new bus lanes in our area getting ACE or plan to get ACE soon? And then one last issue, which is not entirely MTA probably, but just to make the board aware, there are a bunch of drug dealers on the A entrance at Dyckman Station, and no one seems to really do anything about it. So those are my 4 issues.
For your question about ACE, presently we don't have any additional routes planned at this moment. In the TB12 area. We are looking to expand CBTC, but before we do that, we have to ensure that the substations that I referred to earlier, those have to be upgraded to provide the power needed for CBTC. But the trains that are being purchased have the technology already installed, so we can run on those tracks with that CBTC. So, for example, the 1 trains that we're going to purchase after the yard in Nebraska is renovated, we can finally buy the 1 train upgrade for folks and eliminate those hot cars we get every summer. Those will come with the CBT technology installed. So those are we're looking to do that. And I think I have another question. I might have missed that one question.
What's the progress on the A line tracks being replaced from 168 to 207? Because it happens like 1 to 2 times a month, every weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not complaining, just like, is there any progress update?
is there a timeline? Do you guys
Right.
have like a timeline for it?
Yeah, so I have a meeting later this month. I think of the next couple of weeks. I can ask our team where we're at in terms of that specific weekend work and circle back.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
And then the last one is there's you just said there's some drug dealers and let's say activities going on at the Dyckman A trade station. I know that partially enforcement but has MTA worked with local enforcement to ensure this area is safe?
We
Or
can
that
always,
people
we can
shouldn't
mention to,
loiter and sell drugs?
yeah, we can definitely mention it to the local PD. If it's within our station, obviously we don't want that happening. If it's outside, that complicates it, but we can ask our local precinct to get involved.
All right.
I
Yeah,
wanna-
if you, yeah, and then, but Allegra first, and then we'll go back over here. Yeah, if you can just mention that in your meeting as well, or reach out to the local 34th precinct. It's an issue, especially for our commuters, if they're going to work or coming home late night, kids around after school, it's a bit of an issue, so I'm actually concerned about that.
I have several questions also.
Yeah.
One, I think
Go
the
ahead.
community board deserves an update on the crane accident that happened on the one train on the Broadway Bridge. And do you want me to just line them up?
Actually, let's let him answer so he can answer accordingly. And then
Yeah.
go ahead, Alberto. The crane accident that happened on the
Broadway Bridge.
Broadway Bridge.
I'd have to see where we're at with the investigation. But I can get you an answer on that.
Okay, and second, in that vein, the work that's going on the elevated one train section, I understand it may be coming to Inwood next. It's caused a lot of chaos in the surface streets. I would like to have updates on like what is the ETA on the elevated one train work and when will it be in Inwood? And are they planning on doing those same kind of beam, they do the beams to the ground. It looks like they're putting in new concrete balustrades.
Those, okay. I can see if that's something we have planned and I'll get back to you. I haven't seen it come across my radar, but I can ask the team if that's something we have planned for. And
That's not a part of the capital budget plans we have for the accessibility upgrades, right?
no,
Alberto?
no.
Okay. Go ahead.
Third, the MTA guys, they use the sidewalk of 10th Avenue like it's their own personal parking lot. And, my kid's now at a new school, but last year he was at 278 and walking from Park Terrace down 10th Avenue, dodging in and out of like MTA guys who use the sidewalk like it's their personal vehicle parking area. Like, is there a reason that they don't love this neighborhood? Like, seriously, like kids walk there, and it would be nice if they parked on the street where their cars belong in the street or in their yards where there's parking. Third comment is that the A train terminus at just north of Isham Street, there was some contracting group who shut down the sidewalk and took a lane of parking and also shut that down. And it was shut down for several weeks, and I saw so many people just like walking in the street. It's someone opened the door now, but all the signage still indicates as the sidewalk's closed. I would like a commitment that there will be sidewalk access on both sides of the street because people are not crossing there because there's not a light right there. They're walking in the street. So I would like to know why they shut down the street. Does MTA not have the same protocol as the rest of New York City when you shut down the sidewalk to provide safe pedestrian path? What happened? Like,
Okay.
why did they do that?
All right, I'd like to get to answer your questions if I get a minute, please.
Yes, go ahead.
So with the parking, employee parking, that's definitely a concern of mine, of all of us. I think safety is important. Employees do get a every year, they get a memorandum saying, hey, where to park, where not to park, and that your vest is not a placard, so to speak. So if you see those types of violations, feel free to send them to me, and I can definitely have the correct management address that. We've had certain folks have such behavior addressed before, so it's something that we definitely frown upon. So if you see something like that, please let me know, and I can definitely flag that for the appropriate teams around that area. And also with the sidewalk, I was just there with Parks there last 2 weeks ago, and they created a walkable lane for folks. So there was an issue initially. I went there with the contractor. I was also highly concerned about folks walking in the street when there should be a walking lane, and that has since been erected. And so and then we're also requiring the renewal of that permit that DOT has as a stipulation that this walkable lane remain. So it's something that we've requested before the end of the year. but also are requesting going forward that this become standard.
Yeah, do you know what the work there, what they are actually doing?
Yeah, so there's like an elevator there for employees, not for employees to get to work, but it's a certain access to the track area. So they're replacing that work elevator. That's what's happening.
Okay. All right.
Um,
So you've got his email.
Yeah, I'll forward you his email. Noemi and then Jim has a comment, then
Thank
we'll
you.
let you go, Alberto.
Thanks.
I wanted to piggyback off of the whole situation that we have, still homeless people in the 191st train station during the hours of students traveling to and from school. So piggyback off of the idea of having drug dealers, we still also have homeless people still stationed at the top of 191st, one train station. I know that that's within the jurisdiction of most likely the police, but if you can set a reminder for there to be walks, I know our students are constantly bringing this up at school.
Yeah, I could definitely send a reminder. I also want to flag that we have a program called
on.
Scout, and the Scout program, it's a program we do with MTA PD, but also a registered nurse, and what they do is the nurse goes in and sees that this person has to be removed right away because of mental illness, etc. And if they deem them that they have to be removed, then they go in an ambulance, they go to the hospital, they do the whole process. And this has had some success across not just Uptown, but throughout the system. As you can imagine, it's definitely labor intensive, but it's a program that the governor has funded, the city has funded, in which, it's not just police, right? We want something more effective. So we've partnered with a local nurse, a local hospital, and we've had some success stories. It does take time to get folks out of the system, as you can imagine, but it's a new type of approach we've taken in the recent year or so. We're going to continue that process.
Thank you.
And Jim has a comment, and Alberto, thank you. Jim.
Two things, Alberto, and the issue of the folks who shoot up. We have a program in this community which Alberto and his folks ought to be coordinating with. They may already be doing that. It's one of these safe places where people can use heroin in particular, and they could certainly be part of the solution, and we could get you the contact information, because this will be a service to everyone.
Are you referring to On Point?
On Point, yes.
Yeah, oh, so you know about it. Good.
It'd be great if they were 24 hours. The problem is they're not 24 hours. So after said time they close, they find the station. So it's kind of.
Well, maybe we can have our whatever committee work on that, because that's probably just a matter of funding.
Yeah.
The second comment, and Allegra, I think I want to hear your thinking too. The current methodology they plan to use to cool the 168th Street 1 train station is some kind of geothermal thing, which would take heat from the station and presumably pump it into the rocks.
Oh, they're gonna do it that way?
That's what
The way geothermal works is like, if you go far enough down, the temperature is the average annual temperature of whatever location you're in. So let's say in New York, it's like.
so they're gonna bring cold air up.
So what they do is they generally, the HVAC system like that, they drill a borehole and then they put water down there, the water takes
Because they're
on.
pulling the cold up.
And they bring the cool up. I would say that on I know Columbia did a geothermal project and they had to go much deeper than they anticipated because we all know the Hudson River is brackish, but this was like 122nd Street. It was brackish at depth. So you need to get down beyond that level. So they ended up having to drill significantly further than they thought they would, but sounds great.
And in fact, your input has been extremely helpful. I thought they were just gonna try to pump the heat down there, which, and it's
It's the other way. It's like, you try to cap that cake.
right, no, I understand that now, and that was very helpful.
Allegra, Jim, I put the RFP with information.
Yeah, they put the RFP, I forwarded it to you.
Yeah.
Some other things, like my friend Reggie Blake, who's at City Tech, his entire summer student intern program, they were looking at heating in subway stations, and he sent like students out by the weekends to go look at different subway stations, to go along different lines, to map out like where the hot spots were. And there is apparently some low hanging fruit. I noticed that when they use the heat cameras, that a lot of the lighting used in the trains is like old school lighting, and it's like upgrading to LED bulbs that like don't produce much heat is like a super easy kind of fix. The other big source of heat in those stations, of course, is going to be the air conditioning units of the cars themselves. So you might think about strategic ways to, not put the AC on full blast like when you're underground, but like get a little breath of fresh air at 125th Street, another breath of fresh air comes at Dyckman Street. So you could think about strategic ways to do that and to otherwise use fans to ventilate the tunnel that way. There's like Reggie Blake stuff like I'm sure you know about City Tech's student
Yeah, they
project.
have a
If you
good-
haven't reached out to them, you definitely should reach out to them.
And we can also give the information to Alberto. I think Alberto can also send it out in line. Go ahead, Jim, finish up and then.
Your comments have been extremely useful, and my real concern, and whether even if you're bringing, normally we don't talk about moving coal, but we're actually taking the coolness from the ground down there and bringing it up. If you go down here under that station, you're gonna be in bedrock all the way down.
It's quite hard. Yeah.
Well, it's bedrock, and my thought, again, because I have a background similar to you, although I'm really taught physics. This is a huge station, and the capacity. I mean, it's going to be investigated. So I'm just dubious.
How many boreholes do they need?
Guys,
drill?
we're gonna have this conversation offline.
One final.
Anything else for Alberto before he goes?
One final thing, very important. The heat practically entirely comes from the air conditioning. Most of the lights are low power. There are hardly any incandescent lights anywhere that I've seen.
I mean,
So
that's not interesting.
We can discuss that offline. Alberto, Jim, anything else for Alberto? I know Ty has one more
No, just
question.
one question.
Yes, go ahead.
When I was a kid, the subways were like caves. They were cold. And it was
Yes.
when the air conditioning came, that's where all the heat comes from.
You're right that it's big.
Right.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ty, and then Alberto. let you go.
Thank you for telling us about that program. Is there a way that the public can report those situations directly to Scout? Or is the MTA basically in charge of like monitoring the stations with that?
No, we definitely always welcome customer feedback. You're the eyes and ears, not to sound cliche, but you guys are every day you see the issues. You can do two things. You can email me directly, or on the MTA app or the website, you can submit the feedback or concern, and it goes right to the departments who would address that.
Okay, so we'll encourage residents near that station to use those channels to discuss the 191 issue.
Yeah, but the board can certainly reach out to me, and I can escalate those concerns, which I'm going to do from what I've heard today, of course. But
All right.
Moving forward, I can do that as well.
Yeah, sounds good. We have a couple hot spots in the neighborhood, but that one's come up a lot. It's
Especially in the winter time. I know winter is a little more difficult because of the outside.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alberto. We're in constant communication, so we'll discuss offline.
Thank you. And I'll have lots to follow up on. I appreciate the conversation, everyone. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye. Right, just move along. Raphael is gonna give us an update from DOT. We have some concerns, as we mentioned, we're gonna continue to mention monthly. So you can just take it back to your colleagues. I know with the new administration, new commissioner, it's a whole new ballgame. So we just want to make sure it's on your plate so that you guys, it's fresh.
I understand, and I will respect that. But just before I go into giving you a meeting with what Lyle told me to issue an update.
Okay.
I wanted to go back to the issue that you mentioned regarding blocking the sidewalk.
Yeah.
The MTA contractors.
Yeah.
We are the one managing those contractors. And if you get DOT will send an inspector. If we get a complaint like that, we will send an inspector immediately. And they will look at the situation, describing the complaint. And if they are not really going by the rules and regulations, they're not compliant, they will get a phone, they will get a summons. So if something like that happens, just call CB12, tell them what's happening, and they will call us.
Because I do file in my defense. a lot of 311 reports, with a lot of pictures, and no one seems to care. They go into wherever the trash box is within YPD.
I
So
think
like
that I
10,000
would suggest,
along,
that you use,
use DB12?
yes.
Okay.
Particularly the old,
that's-
because, you know,
She sent me, I've sent it to Len Alberto.
So that is a
So-
hot spot, I know, 10th Avenue, all along the.
Is it
Chestnut
still
Street
on?
bar. It's ongoing.
okay,
That
so
problem.
Theo, you could
And
send
then-
us a.
Another ongoing, there's always like 3 or 4 next to the Allen Hospital, right before the Broadway Bridge. There's always a bunch of contractors that like to park on the sidewalk there.
The purpose of this conversation is for me to let you know
Yes, okay,
that it's not the MTA monitoring themselves.
Okay.
Okay?
you're gonna do.
It's the DOT that monitor whatever happens on the street, on the sidewalk, that is our jurisdiction,
I know.
okay?
Oh,
Right,
okay,
so-
So like, okay.
So,
You
go, Leo.
Any other complaints, forward to me and
Right.
I'll dish it off to them. I always do. I
Right.
just forward it
So
forward.
I
Forward
just
forward.
wanted to give an update.
Go ahead, Rafael,
But,
thank you.
that's the road to, get things accomplished.
I-
Okay, so, Lyle gave me a list of things to, give an update on.
Okay.
And the first one was the Broadway Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
there have been complaint about, staging of the construction material currently
Mhm.
on side of the bridge. He says the DOT Bridges is currently working with our contractors and the design consultant to send over a drawing proposing a new design for this location that meets access and safety requirements. That's right.
That's good.
Everyone,
That's one update. Thank you for that.
I'm just the messenger.
No, I know.
Okay, good. But I can answer some questions.
anyway.
West 158th Street, Riverside Viaduct.
I'm sorry, worst one?
The viaduct.
158th Street,
Oh, the viaduct.
the viaduct. This is still a legal matter, so there is still not much that DOT can do at this time. But as mentioned before the CB, the area is still being maintained by the contractors and DOT. In the meantime, and any question or concern about the viaduct itself under the construction stage. There is also a mention here of Valerie Torchon, does that ring a bell? That's the community construction liaison.
Oh, right, yes.
She's
She's
still,
talked to.
on
a
site
number
every
of
day
times.
in the meantime and
She has
can be contacted for any and all issues regarding the viaduct.
She unfortunately isn't being given any information to pass along to us. She has no,
Okay, I may
Information.
come.
And can you also comment aloud to forward me her information and everything?
To what?
Forward her contact information. To the board, we don't have a
Contact
contact.
information?
Well, we want Valerie's contact information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Not here.
No, it's not.
I can get
You
it.
can get me out.
Before they move on. When the contractor shut down a lane of the Broadway Bridge so they can park.
That
their
has
cars,
to
is
be,
that also?
that has to be inspected because every things that happen on the street, sidewalk, anywhere.
Yeah.
Is under the jurisdiction of the DOT.
Okay.
So for them to work anywhere, they have to get a permit.
Yeah. DOT has a department or a division called HICO. HICO
HICO,
goes
you're right.
around these project sites and they assess,
And there-
accessibility, other stuff. Yeah,
Trail,
Yeah, but that's,
the main-
that's.
The
that's
main
the
point that
gist.
I want to make clear here is that is not the MTA. MTA hire their contractors, and they're all have to be compliant with the
Yeah,
DOT.
with DOT specs, they have to file a maintenance potential of traffic with DOT.
Okay,
Go ahead.
okay, so I have another,
Can I, back to the viaduct?
okay.
Yeah, we have a couple comments on the viaduct. That's the hot topic right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there have been Judd Law trucks and some activity from Judd Law along Riverside Drive there recently, and there have been additional barricades put up. The barrels are being chained together now. What is the status of conversations between Judd Law and the DOT? This is a life and safety issue for Riverside, for all along Riverside Drive. There have been ambulances that couldn't get to the building at 15900 Riverside Drive West, it's called, along there. There have been heart attacks and I happen to live in that building. That rescue vehicles were unable to find how to access because there's no front access to the building. what's happening? We're getting nothing from Valerie.
And then Jody's
So I
gonna,
just want to
she's
support
gonna
them.
add to.
We have asked in October, we asked in November. We talked to the commissioner in December, and we clearly
DOT
have
commission?
expressed
Yeah.
concern for the fact that there's no emergency access to the front of those buildings. There are barricades all over the place. Fire trucks and ambulances cannot get in any way, shape, or form. And I looked at it, I mean, I don't live down there, you do, but I looked at it, not this week, but last week.
Yeah,
And it's still in the exact same shape as far as I can
For
tell.
5 years.
The way it was in October.
5 years.
Rafael, that ask, not only from the committee, but from the community at large is that DOT find a plan to provide access. There's no access for emergency vehicles. And I think that's the biggest, we don't care about parking at this point. We don't,
Right.
it's just for emergency vehicles to
It's
be
life
able
and
to
safety.
access the roadway and get into the building. Again, I know that you just.
No, I'm
bringing this
taking
information
note.
back, but that's
I
the
want
main,
to speak on the issue because I'm not familiar.
Sure.
with it, but-
you know, if God forbid something happens, a person passes from a heart attack or DOT
I mean,
has hands in it.
does, no, but does somebody have to die in order to
That's
get
what I'm
DOT's attention? That's what it
Unfortunately,
seems.
The contractor and DOT would be,
I you that I
liable.
would bring this up.
I understand.
I know you would, I know you would.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Meeting. I think, today is the 5th, right?
Mhm.
So Friday is the 8th,
9.
the 9th, okay. So Lyle is not going to be here
Yeah, he is focused.
during, I mean, I meant to say he's not gonna be at the staff meeting. I will be in the staff meeting. I will be talking about this issue.
Okay.
And what,
So I will be the one bringing it up to the commissioner.
yeah, and I'll follow up with Danielle and I'll let her know that we want another meeting. Not only for updates, but we want to plan how we're gonna provide access to emergency vehicles. That's our main concern.
Right.
You guys provide access to emergency vehicles, now we're making progress and we can move on.
I mean,
On certain things, there's other issues, but that's the key issue.
we had the rally in front of River Terrace, 2 months ago?
Councilmember Abreu
Abreu was
involved in
there, that he lives in the building
deeply
too.
involved in it.
So it'll be easier for Danielle. to
Jackson was
understand.
It
there.
was
And I
addressed to
explained-
her in December at this meeting,
Right.
and still has.
No, I will convey that message. Just like I see you very much concerned about this particular issue. So let me continue on a couple.
Okay, yeah.
If I may.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a West 158th Street stair and 6-point intersection.
Yeah.
DOT is currently working internally to move the pedestrian ramp upgrades forward at this 6-point intersection. And we are having additional conversation about potential traffic and pedestrian safety upgrades for the stretch along Edward Morgan Place. We'll keep you posted as more information becomes available.
Can you tell us exactly what that,
I'm just.
right,
Yeah, he's delivering the message.
okay,
I'll have,
Because I'm not, although I'm not
Okay.
all area because I know, I'm from.
so my question is, how do I find out exactly what those plans are?
well, usually they have discussions internally and then when they propose a project, they'll come to the board and say, this is the project, this is our idea. I would want to talk to Lyle and I'll reach out to Lyle and Danielle Zuckerman on behalf of the board to discuss potential upgrades. We would like to give input on what those accessibility
Yeah.
pedestrian upgrades should entail. So it's not like DOT, obviously, they're the expert, they know the roadways. They'll put out a plan, but we will give suggestions as we
And
know.
this is our intentions,
Yeah, yeah,
is to, have a conversation with the community board's members.
yeah.
And, perhaps we could come to an agreement to do certain implementation with the area.
Great.
Go ahead.
Just for the record, a resolution was drafted June of 2024, almost 2 years ago now, will be 2 years as of June. Asking for a study and planned improvements to that intersection. We have since had numerous conversations.
Which 158th Street?
It's
That's 6
We
way.
have had numerous conversations with New York City DOT and promises and commitments made, which have not been met,
Can
including
you send me that?
ADA compliant accessibility, to the north side of that intersection. I know Sean is very concerned about it, as well as, addressing community input into that intersection. And design plans that actually have been presented by the community on that intersection in March of 2025, of which we have heard nothing. And I know Sean followed up in December, of which we again received very little.
So that resolution originally was introduced in
Excuse me.
2024.
Yes.
It was, yeah, almost 2 years ago.
We, as a board, and it's something that Anthony is working diligently with the board office, we're gonna make sure those resolutions get followed up in the next month, couple months.
Email it to me before Friday.
But we'll email you. Jody has a list of concerns with details. I'm gonna email. Lau has it, but I'll also forward it to you
So I can.
so that you
look it
can.
up.
And that would be great if you have some answers for us.
Okay, moving on to another one, yeah, another regarding the staircase by West 160th Street. DOT is working on making repairs so it's safer for pedestrians going between Upper and Lower Riverside Drive.
Okay, that is,
At this time, there is no need for complete overhaul of the staircase. As the upcoming repairs should address any concern that the CB and resident may have here.
okay, that was, a Sean, in 2024. Our Councilman Sean Abreu in 2024 allocated money in the 2024 budget, close to $3 million for a complete renovation of those stairs. And it was determined at that time that those stairs required a complete renovation for the safety of all the users. So to hear that DOT has now decided that it doesn't require it shocks me.
I'll bring it up. Okay, and the last one is in that same area, West 165th Street and Riverside Drive. Say, DOT is waiting for the resolution letter of support from the CB regarding the presentation we gave last month for traffic and pedestrian safety upgrades at the intersection of West 165th Street and Riverside Drive.
You'll get it within the week. We passed it last month. December 17th, I think, was the general board meeting. The holidays, the office wasn't.
Right.
The office had other things to worry about. We'll forward it. I'll make sure I reach out to Paola. So that we can forward it to DOT. We're in transition. We're getting a new DM, new district manager in February. So that's why things are moving. So Anthony, our chair,
I'm acting here, but I'm not the.
he's a chair. He's a chairperson. He's the chair of the board.
Right.
Anthony is acting DM at his position, as chair of the board. But he's helping the office.
Excellent.
Yeah, the board hired someone in December, but we're going through the city's process,
Oh,
and
I
they
see.
won't come into place until.
To February, so
So the resolution will be,
we'll forward it. I'll have Paola or Anthony forward it to you.
okay,
And I think for the
I-
record, it was 100%. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, it was unanimously voted.
oh, it
Yeah,
was,
and we're very much behind the design that.
But you'll get it. I'll forward it to you tonight, and then
okay.
And I'll send that to you.
and I'll give you his email.
Excellent, I'm done.
One other thing. Is this about the
No, you
viaduct?
go. No, you go.
Okay. There's a garage entrance and exit on 158th Street at 667 West 158th Street, that there's 667 West 158th garage. And there's been a new, what are those things called? The white thing that,
Bollard.
Baller.
Is it Bollard?
that just the skinny thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bollard. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a new one that's been installed there that when vehicles come out of that garage and make a right toward the drive, there is not, it's in the wrong place.
Who installed it?
Sorry,
We did, DOT,
don't you install those?
No,
Well,
not necessarily. Not necessarily.
not by garage.
They only install it if it's part of some type of project or an upgrade. And yeah, it could be the building, it could be the garage, depending on.
It's not the building.
I mean,
Okay,
If
I'll
you have
find
the
out.
address, maybe look into if
Yeah,
it's
we'll
a
look
DOT
into it.
thing,
Find
something
out.
that we could, but if not, then we'll
Cause
touch
it's,
bases.
you know, it's to basically delineate the bike lane, right?
Oh, so there is a bike lane.
There is a bike lane
Okay,
there.
so then we installed.
I
those
thought
bollards.
so, yeah.
Mhm.
So one has been moved or installed in a new, that creates an impossible way for cars to make a right-hand turn without obstructing the other lane, the oncoming lane. It's just a matter of, yeah,
I'll be shifting.
yeah,
I'll
just
look into
shifting it
it.
a little.
Okay. And then Jody has a comment, and then Rafael, we'll let you go and we'll.
We've also had a lot of complaints and concerns about pedestrian safety and traffic flow at West 165th Street in Fort Washington by the hospital. And Lyle in November was gonna send an inspector out to evaluate that intersection and get back to us, and we haven't heard anything.
I
mean,
think I
he hasn't been here.
In one of the meetings, he spoke about that particular intersection that would be going through a study, traffic study. It's not an inspector, they had to go and study, they had to go and study the vehicular
Patterns and stuff like that. Yeah, patterns. The
I'd
only,
be thrilled if that happened.
the only issue is, so, the New York Presbyterian Hospital, they have a cancer research building going up. That's the reason you have a lot of unease. Besides,
Yeah.
dangerous conditions on 165th and Riverside Drive, there's a lot of movement in that area. So I think it goes beyond the traffic study at this point because of that project. It's more of participation and coordination with the hospital and DOT. The hospital, they're going on, they're doing their construction, but when it comes to the maintenance, protection of traffic and just site safety, they're not really on top of it. So we need someone from DOT to come out and give them a pow, as we say in the Dominican language.
Sidewalk there on the north side of 165th Street, you have to cross to the south side. of
Yeah, you have to cross,
Right.
correct.
Incredible amount of foot traffic there because like the emergency rooms may be on Broadway, but all of like the main hospital entrances and all the.
They're on Full Wash.
And the children's. hospital.
It's a conversation that we need to have with the hospital. It has to be DOT in the hospital. So not necessarily because of the traffic patterns. It has to do with construction. Obviously, traffic pattern
Yeah.
issues.
That was.
But the construction is a bigger. So we need to have an offline conversation.
The hospital behavior is part of the study as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and they're very well, good technician of DOT that will do that.
Okay.
I don't know when is that going to be implemented, but this is something that I heard that it might be, in the process of.
Good, yeah. So I think it's actually twofold, right? Is that we need a national traffic study for the future, and we also need, an immediate response
so-
to the problems that are being
Created
caused by the
by the
construction.
Sure.
And I know, I'm pretty comfortable crossing intersections, and I am nervous about crossing that one.
That's great.
One other thing that I like to add, that when you're reporting things like you spoke about the sidewalk being closed.
Yeah.
Take picture,
Okay.
okay?
I have a lot of
And,
pictures.
send it to you.
Yeah.
Take picture,
We have Jim.
Iowa inspector can go there.
Don't worry.
Jim has a comment, and then Rafael,
Yes.
everything that you mentioned, if you can please just forward it to me, so I can forward it to the board.
Okay,
And then we can have a good discussion. Go ahead.
excellent.
The Presbyterian Hospital and their construction people, I think Julio himself, Vice President, spoke to us. I think our last meeting and said that 24/7, someone is paying for someone to actually direct traffic at 165th Street and Fort Washington. Now, I was on a northbound number 4 bus, and as we went there was so exciting. I told Julio that too, but and allegedly there's supposed to be a backup who comes out, and the other thing, of course, is when major things are going on. They actually divert the buses. So for example, one time, for a while, I had to take the bus but the bus turned on 168th Street. Was that, I mean, there may have been a crane there and who knows? But so, and the point everyone is making, and you and your new commissioner will totally agree, is that this is a vital intersection and, you know, and so I believe that the Presbyterian Hospital is well, New York Presbyterian is you know, trying to be cooperative, but your involvement as well with this grease whatever wheels need greasing and ideally it'll look better. No, thank you.
Thank you, Rafael.
Thank you.
Right. That
No.
being said, Rafael, we appreciate it.
Can I, just quickly, is there an update on the green lines that everybody keeps painting along 10th Avenue for bike lanes? Like, is this, the study is supposed to start soon, I believe, for that? I think.
I am very sorry, but I'm unable to,
I
but
know.
I'll
No,
bring it
but
up. That's at
just-
10th Avenue.
Yeah, just
Bike
to
lane?
mention, and also I put in several requests with Lyle, like when they said, oh, 650 extra red light cameras, I'm like, yeah, this intersection and that intersection, this intersection. And Lyle's like, he translated to like the special paperwork, and I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
When we find out if we got less.
We haven't gotten lucky. That's a state thing. I've been on top of that as well. State hasn't put the stamp on it yet. So as of now, it doesn't exist.
There's none.
Yeah, it was conversation. They put out legislation. It hasn't been passed. It's sitting there, and when we get it, then DOT, we're choosing it. We'll make sure we push on our end to make sure that we get them in certain intersections and area. But as of now, it's like it doesn't exist.
And then,
But if you have any questions, take it outside or send it to me. She doesn't know too much, unfortunately. He is the messenger, and I also have to move this meeting. We have a presentation. Amino has to.
Thank you for your hospitality.
Thank
you so much.
And have a good
Rafael,
year.
thank you for everything. Right, hey Mino. So, and Mino just stepped away, I think.
No. No, she's still there.
Mino, you there?
I am here. I am here.
Thank you.
Hello,
All right,
hello.
let me make sure you have so you can share your screen.
I think I
Oh, yeah,
can.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I can.
So Mino
Let me see.
came to us, let me give you some context. Mino
Yeah.
came to us, I want to say sometime mid-year, right before our break, I think in
Yeah.
June, it was a while ago.
Yeah,
Because People's Theater is opening up real soon, I believe, sometime in June, or maybe before that. And
Yeah.
they need some signage, directly from DOT, they need some signage. So as a committee, we will hear a presentation to discuss. We want to pass a sign, which I don't think there should be any opposition to. We'll allow each person to vote on it. Go ahead, Mino, and you can share your screen when ready.
great. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to the committee. Hello, hello. Great to see so many familiar faces. I'm Mino Lora. I'm the Executive Artistic Director for the People's Theater. We have been around for 17 years serving the community board, 12 community, Washington Heights and Inwood, creating theater with and for the immigrant community. There's 2 actors there in the room who are in the committee and parents of actors. So Mary Anderson is one of our performers. Be on the lookout for her performing very soon again on the stage. Parents of actors as well. So very excited that we are bringing this theater. I did come, as you said, back in June, Leo. And what we were told by the Langen is the team that is putting in the proposals and requests for the filing for the space is the theater is located at 419 West 206th Street. The actual lot, which is under how it was filed, is the 405-407 West 206. We now have our official number for the theater, which is 419. The construction will end in April. This has been a multi-year long process. It is the brand new building where the Miramar is. So there are tenants already living there. We will move in. The construction will end around April, May. We will move in after we get all of the inspections, Department of Building. It's a whole process in July. What we're coming to the committee for is the request for filing a no parking, and I'm going to show my screen. So we were told by DOT there was a filing that we put in, our team put in for the whole building. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So this is the project site. I'll make it a little smaller. So on the right side, my right side, where the notes are, that is 9th Avenue. And to the left side is, there's a building and then it's 10th Avenue. So on the north is 207. We are on 206th Street. So as
You
part,
actually make it bigger.
how do I do that? Can you
Just
see?
keep on doing what you're very good.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Oh, great. Perfect. I am
Beautiful.
not the most savvy, so thank you. I'm glad that worked. So there is a case number that DOT gave us. And if you, so to have it for the record, it is DOT 604986 ZOG5. So that includes all of the parking regulations for the building. Again, this is 2 lots, much bigger than what I'm here for, but the one that requires community board approval, and it requires a vote and a letter of support from the community board, is for this one that I'm speaking about today. In front of the theater, and that is regulated by the city. Any theater in New York City, and I'm glad Uptown's going to have a theater, has a no parking anytime regulation. So it's 40 feet that is proposed where you see the orange line. So I know it's written, so it's a little confusing. It's written to the right, but it's actually just the right in front of the building. And that is where we do the load-ins. That is where we're speaking, we're meeting with the aging committee. We are planning to have a very, not only is this a theater, but it's a community space. So it's a lot of our local youth arts education organizations, Young People's Chorus, Jazz Power, Be Me with the Y, the People's Theater. All of these programs are happening after school. There's a lot of buses coming in and out. In the mornings, we are working with Mary and the aging committee to hopefully have some of our senior centers be able to have activities there. We're speaking with the Y as well about that. And of course, when we have productions, we need that space to load in the set, load out the set. So it is a no parking anytime regulation. It's 40 feet on 206th Street, between 9th Avenue and 10th Avenue, closer to 10th, right in front of the theater. I think that's it. Any questions?
Roughly, Mino, I remember we spoke, it's about three spaces, 3 or 4 spaces.
Exactly. For New Yorkers, it's 3 spaces. For any other people, it's probably 2 spots, but we squeeze in 3.
All right, so yes, we had this conversation prior. They need this, so it's not necessarily the People's Theater wanting it. It's required by DOT. It's part of the requirement.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about it before. Does anybody have any questions specifically
No.
for me or the People's Theater?
I mean, if it's
Peter
digital
does.
development, not, for, but if it's that close to the end of the intersection with the new daylighting initiative, like just do something.
Yeah, we're gonna have a discussion on daylighting soon. We have Emily from Open NYC, and they'll be coming the next month or something. We'll discuss that more. All right, anybody else for Mino? Yes, Jim.
2 things. Number one, I move that we pass a resolution indicating our approval of these 3 spaces. And I agree with you. Remind me of your name?
Peter.
Peter, right. That even though we're not gonna have an official talk on daylighting, it's just the rest of the block, so it's
Yeah.
a very natural thing to do, and I think it'll be, since there'll be large number of people entering and leaving the building, it'll make the whole thing even safer, so we might want to include that in the resolution also, that they should, think about it or whatever.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna move to vote. We're gonna start with the committee, then we'll go with board members, and then we'll take a general public vote. So Noemi,
Yes.
yes, Jen,
Yes.
Jody,
Yes.
Robin Cruz,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
and Ty.
Yes.
Okay, Sonia,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
and Mary, our actress Mary.
Absolutely.
And our chair Anthony, Council President Wood, Anthony, yes, and then consensus of the public,
Count as a board member.
yes. All in favor, okay.
Yay.
All right, Mina, so I'll draft the resolution, send it to the committee, and then we'll propose it at the general board meeting and we'll vote then.
Thank
All
you
right.
so
That's
much. And I
what-
can't wait to have all of you there. The ribbon cutting is set for
Please, we're
September.
excited.
We have a full season programmed with all the things, so.
Thank you very much,
Gracias.
Mina, we're excited.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, with that being said,
Mary,
we're gonna, Mary, go ahead.
Just since Nino brought it up, we'll be in rehearsals actually, for this next production, in February, for the whole month of February,
That's pretty cool.
practically every evening. And the performances will be on February 28th. It's going to be here at the Alianza
Okay.
at, I think it's 5 o'clock. The word will get out, but on Sunday, March 1st, it's going to be at 2 o'clock at the Y. And then on, I think it's Saturday, March 7th. It's going to be at the, where did I say, Anthony?
You said at the Whitney,
Yeah,
yeah, the Whitney Museum.
downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's pretty good.
What is
The
it?
traveling company.
What's
Cool,
the,
actually.
Merritt? What's the production?
The production.
What,
It's going to be a performance by people who have applied and been accepted to come up with what we're going to have the performance about.
oh,
It's going to be based on immigration and where we've come from and thoughts about home and those kinds of things. What we come up with is why we're doing rehearsals every night. We will be developing the play.
That's quite interesting. Pretty cool.
This is how
Very.
people's theater works.
It's very cool. Yeah. So,
Not a, a script. We write our own script. So,
all right. Any old business? We have some following up to do with resolutions, as mentioned earlier. Anthony has been very diligent with the board office to make sure that a lot of the resolutions we passed, and we passed a lot as a community. I think licensing hasn't, but we're gonna be following up, so we'll be pushing it out soon, and we'll be working on that. I want to give a shout out to Bruce. And Bruce gave me an idea. I think the committee, we all received an email, but we should start acknowledging our community residents and people who live around community who actually do work outside of the board and following up with these agencies. Bruce, if you want to speak about your neighbor who got some signage installed that was damaged on Morgan Place. But yeah, Bruce, I think that's something that we should really, really hone in and give shout outs to people. There's a lot of people that really care about the community, and it's not only us doing work, it's people who every day live here, work, play, and they want to ensure that they are also on top of things that are happening in their backyard. So Bruce, you can go ahead and give a bit of a breakdown on what your neighbor did.
So Karen Mooney, who's my neighbor, saw that there was the MTA electronic billboard right outside of the BX6 bus stop on the corner of 157 and Morgan Place, which is a very busy corner, and nothing was happening. And she called 311 and kept after them, and finally something happened. And she was very proud of herself, and I was very proud of her too. And I just forwarded that to the committee, and it's something we want to encourage, because I get a lot of I get calls once in a while saying, "Oh, what about this? What about that? Why don't you do something?" And I say, "Why don't you do something? Call 311. Go to the community board. Here's a Zoom call you can get on. Go visit the committees and do something." So when somebody does something, we want to encourage more of that. And Karen was very proud of it. And that's all I had to, convey.
So we want to thank Karen Mooney for being a great community resident. We also want to thank Peter and Allegra, who also come to our meetings monthly, just to give input. Again, they take time. I know you guys have family, and they come in, have this dialogue with us so that they can voice and advocate for certain things in the community, and we can also stay top of the agency. So thank you guys as well. I want to shout out Noemi from the office. During during the holiday season, it snowed, and at one location near my house, my apartment, Nago Avenue and Thayer, was very hazardous conditions with ice buildup. So for a full block long, and I think it made it to a few social media pages. The Gothamist had something on it, but it was completely frozen. A few people fell, and I had reached out to Noemi and said, "Hey, can we, reach out to sanitation and the superintendent in the area, just give them a heads up. This is very dangerous." She, within a couple hours, got it taken care of. Sent pictures, and then it was reported by the community through social media that it was taken care of. So, again, we all have eyes, and we're grateful that it's not only coming from the chair of the committee or committee members or just the general board. it's coming from the community to do this work. So again, thank you. And then we're gonna move on to new business. Jim, go ahead.
I just have one comment. Bruce said a magic word about his neighbor. The trick with 311 is you have to be persistent. And it, I mean, you have to be persistent maybe for much longer than you would like to be persistent, but well, of course, if you turn it around, if you're not persistent, ain't nothing gonna happen. So.
Right. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
If it's NYPD, you just get ignored.
Oh, but this is the difference.
No, I know, but I'm saying with 311, any parking violation goes to NYPD, they just automatically delete your complaint.
Right, but, and again, I think, the Noemi story, tells the community that reaching out to the community board be a truth, because, we have a district service cabinet and our staff deals with people who run the agencies in the district, so she probably knew exactly who to
Go to reach out to. Correct. All right, new business. If you want to come up and introduce yourself, and then we'll be just in some context. This is a street naming that we discussed last year. They're coming again in April. So her husband is here just to give some words and keep it fresh.
Yeah, I won't take up too much time. My name is Roy Koshi, and in April of 2025, I appeared before this board for the street co-naming of Donetta Riley. She was my partner, and she passed away in March of 2024. The reason that we were pursuing the street naming is that Donetta had a massive impact on generations of children up here because she ran the Music Together program up here since 2006. She was a resident here since the late 90s. And she also, when the PS 187 school didn't have an arts program, she created it and ran that. She also ran her own birthday party and birthday party and events business. And she did a lot of birthday parties, like a lot of immersive birthday parties for kids. But she also taught art classes independently as well. So the reason that we're doing this is that, again, it's the impact that she had on children for many, many years now. And I mean, whenever I walk through the neighborhood, it's not a day that goes by that somebody doesn't come up to me and say how she taught her, how Donetta inspired her children to love art, inspired her children to learn how to sing and not be self-conscious about it, not worry about it so much. So the reason I'm coming back here is that I'm just coming back here to state my intentions that I intend to pursue the street co-naming in April. Now, another reason that I'm here is also that we submitted the entire application last April. Because she was not deceased for 2 years, they did not go forward with pursuing this. Now, we were under the impression from both the city council and this board that because Donetta died of a disease, she would fit that exception, but that wasn't the case. So what I'm trying to find out, and I want to just get this confirmed, is that we submitted all the application materials, including the main application and all the signatures. We got way over the required amount. I want to know, do we need to redo those signatures or the application materials?
So we had that question come up in the past. I think because it comes in for another cycle, we have to get everything ready. And that I'm gonna mention on the record, and Anthony, you can confirm his city. But I believe because it's a different cycle, yes, we would have to get everything refreshed.
Okay, because in April they said that I didn't have.
Yeah, you didn't have to for November or for October, the second test. But since it's coming April, I asked a couple of people, including the council member, I was told it's best because for the signatures, I would just do everything. If you want, I can hold up till Friday, and then we'll find out more information.
Like definitive answer.
Yeah, hold off for a couple of days, but that's what I was informed prior. That for the new cycle, should come.
So what about the other application materials?
I would think they should be able to unless anything's changed or the rules have changed.
Let's hold off. Let's figure things out on the office then. And then
you can use the same paper.
we'll reach out to the board office with all the details. But let's find out. But that's what I was told.
Okay.
So.
All right. So do I leave my email with you all?
I have your email.
Okay.
And the office doesn't.
Okay. So then Friday you'll let me know.
Yeah. Well, it's in the week. Aiming for Friday might take a little longer depending on. We ask how long it takes for the city to get back to us, but
I mean, I just need to know as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so you can get it, the process there.
Yeah.
You can get the process.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. It's 10 times.
Roy, may I have your name spelling for the minutes?
Her first name is Donetta, Donetta, and the last name is Riley, Riley.
Riley. Okay. And your name is
Roy Kochi.
My name is Roy, Roy, and my last name is Koshi, Koshy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any new business? No? Motion. Oh,
I move we adjourn.
I second.
great. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming
Thank you.
and joining us. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.